Hi, welcome. So today I'd like to tell you a little story. As part of my job, I get to photograph food, which I like to do very much. But recently I had the opportunity to shoot some video footage. The camera that I use for food photography also has film capability, not film, video capability. In fact, this is what I'm using right now. But anyway, I had the opportunity to shoot some footage, but it required that I be on my feet, and I had to be able to, hang on to something other than a little camera. So I looked online, and on YouTube, there's all kinds of folks who post videos about how they made a stabilizer rig or whatnot, and I looked at several of them. One in particular from the Frugal Filmmaker I liked a lot, but they all are different in minor ways. Different ways of affixing the camera to the rig. They just have different features. So I made one of my own, and it worked out pretty well. And this is it. Let's see. This is actually the second one I made. The first one I made, and that's a key point to make here, is that when you're working with this stuff, you don't have much time. PVC cement sets up like that. So the first one I made, I screwed up royally, and it went in the trash. So we'll call this the Mark II, if you're an Iron Man fan. Yeah, this is my Mark II. And this one was pretty good, except one of the problems that happened with it was this T piece right here. Let me see, there you go. That little T piece, okay, is from, I believe, Home Depot. And that T piece is from Lowe's. And you'll notice this space is wider than this space. So when I made the rig, it ended up becoming a trapezoid rather than a square. Not that big of a deal. It's still very usable, and so what, right? And I did use this on a shoot, and it was great. But when I used it, I found some problems with it, and I was compelled to build another one. Some of the problems are, first of all, this piece that holds on the, well, you can't see it from there. You know what? Let me just zoom the camera in and I can show you up close. So this piece right here, this is what you screw the camera on with. And if I take it and the way I made it work was, whoops, I just got a piece of threaded rod. Okay, just a piece of threaded rod like that. And let me see. Yeah, so that pivots. And what I was able to do is I drilled a hole, and I use this nut just when I'm traveling around, right? So when I'm transporting it, I've got some way to hold it together. But then later, the difficulty was I have to take this out, then I have to tighten this on, and tighten those like that so that I can affix it to the camera. And then once that's tight within the female portion of the camera, once that's there, then I can disconnect all this stuff, pull it, and just use just one instead of two, and that pulls it down tight and snug against this plate right here. Well, that was a pain in the butt, so I didn't want to keep doing that. So, and the other problem that I had was I foolishly, let me slide this up where you can see it. I foolishly put all this together before I drilled this hole. And that causes a huge problem, because you want your drill to go in as straight as possible, and if this thing's in the way, then you can't get your drill straight. So I decided after that shoot I was going to make another one. And this is the Mark III. Okay, so what did I do differently? First of all, I made this a little shorter. I adjusted the size of it just slightly. I also tried to remember to put things together in the right order so that I was able to drill a proper hole. But some mistakes happened, and I'll show you what they are. For one thing, this 3/4 PVC pipe, when you connect it, it doesn't go on smoothly. Sometimes you have to really, hammer it down to get it on there tightly. Well, PVC cement sets up, like I said, like that. And so you don't have much opportunity. If you look at this, okay, you can see that one side, this side is shorter than that side, because, you're doing this and boom, all of a sudden it's set up and you can't do anything about it. But I like some of the changes that I made. I like that I added these pieces. I noticed that when I was shooting with this one, okay, and let's say I had to focus, there's nothing to hold this, okay? And so what ends up happening is I'm putting all the weight on the hand, and you get quiver and shake or whatnot. So on this one, I added these pieces. So I can hold it with this hand and rest it on this arm while I'm focusing from either side. Additionally, I can go like this and put my hand under this and grab that, and I can walk around and shoot on the go that way. So the design was an improvement. I still had some difficulty getting it together, and like I said, PVC sets up. I want you to look at that. This is crooked. This one, let me see, maybe you can tell. This one goes in a little bit, and that's simply because I didn't have time to adjust this T. I decided to make a fourth one. Pardon me. Let's see, one was in the trash, Mark II, Mark III, yes, I made a fourth one. And that's the Mark IV. A couple of things I did different. I remembered to wait and drill everything at the right time. I also didn't mention on this one that I accidentally got glue down in this little hole, and boy, that was a job trying to get this thumb screw to even turn, because it was glued shut. So this one I didn't do that. I planned, and you'll find the recurring theme here is everything needs to be planned. You have to plan it right, or you're going to get caught and then you get in trouble. So I decided on this one I wanted to try the smaller, the 1/2 inch PVC as opposed to the 3/4 inch PVC. So that's what I did. Now they don't have this, 1/2 inch does not have this little bottom three piece one like that, where you have 1, 2, 3. What they do have is one that has 2 and a threaded top right there. And then I got a threaded piece to put in there. It's okay. But again, I had problems with things being crooked, and because everything sets up so fast. This thing is sticking way out. This is sticking way out where it shouldn't be. If I level that up with the camera, look how far that thing is sticking out right there. So that's not good. Also, I screwed up and glued these feet right here going the wrong way. So I had to cut that out and put a spacer in here and try to make something out of what I had already screwed up, which was fine. I kind of like how those spacers give you a place to grip your hands, which is nice. But these things are too high. So now, you know, the lens is down here. And I know it sounds like whoops, pardon me. I wasn't looking. So now, you know, now I'm reaching up here instead of down here. And it makes a difference when you're holding it. So, you know, this might be right for somebody, but it's just, I want to make one that's perfect. So that's what this video is about. We're going to make the Mark, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to make the Mark V. And I think I'm going to make that video number 2.